So, how are you today? We are going to paint this fun little landscape, and I want it to be a focus of light, and then these geese flying across the sky. There's going to be the lake here, and here's some mountains on the other shore. So it could be Lake Tahoe, could be any lake, and these are geese. So most lakes have geese. So I'm going to just put a piece of masking tape right across here so I don't have to be careful. And I am going to paint over my mountains and over my geese because they're going to be silhouetted, and I want to have a light source there, and then it's going to be darker as we go out. That's the plan. So it's kind of like focus of light right there. You know, sometimes, especially in the winter, we have these days where, you know, it's not like exactly the sun that's shining there, but it's, you know, there's a light coming through the clouds. So that is what I'm going for. And I have a bunch of colors out already on my palette, and I'm going to use basically blue colors. So I have Cobalt Blue, I have Primary Blue Cyan, and I have Indigo, and I have Cobalt Teal. That one is from M. Graham. So this one here is the My Mary Blue, which is a new color for me, and I have switched out my Peacock Blue from Holbein with this one, Primary Blue Cyan from My Mary Blue. So that's that. So this is my new palette, as a matter of fact, that I'm using here and revealing. So I think I'm pretty good on everything I have. The only thing I thought I might need some more of, would maybe be this My Mary Blue, and maybe also some more indigo. It's nothing worse than being in the middle of a painting and then running out of the color you need, especially when you're doing wet into wet. When you're doing wet into dry and you're doing like very controlled, which I don't, and I'm certainly not going to do very controlled in this one, it really is not a good thing. So what I'm going to do is I am going to use my big brush, my number 30 from Mimic Squirrel from Creative Mark, and I'm just going to paint along here. And yes, I am going to turn my paper around. Sorry folks, some of you don't like that, but it's just part of my painting style. And it also actually helps so that I am not covering up what I'm doing with my hand right over my brush. So there's advantages and disadvantages to doing it this way. So I want to make sure I have, and I think I'm still going to put some water over there too. I just have to keep it very light. So there we have it. Lots of water. Let me just lift it up and see if I have dry spots. Yes, I did. Let's lift it the other way. Do we have dry spots? I don't think so. So we want to have it nice and wet because, you know, we don't want it to dry so we get brush strokes in the middle of what we're doing. So take a little time and let it soak in. Okie dokie. And then might just wipe those droplets off to be on the safe side. Okay, so I think I'm going to stick with this one actually. And I'm going to start out with a little bit of this cobalt teal color. And I'm going to go in a circle around because it's going to move in. And then I'm going to go, not even rinse out my brush. Next color I'm going to put on is my cobalt blue. More up here, cobalt blue. And then again, I'm going to go with the same principle. I'm not going to rinse out my brush, and I'm going to go into this cyan. And it's a phthalo blue is what it is. It's PB, which is pigment blue. Can you see how that moves? Pigment blue it's a phthalo blue 15:3. So you might have it. Put a little bit of that on this side also. And now again, I'm not going to rinse out my brush. I'm just going to go into my indigo, and I want to get out here the sides. I want it darker at the sides and here. And put a little bit more of that cyan. There we go. I'm gonna grab my tissue and wipe my table, wipe the edges here. I'm painting on a 8x10 block, and actually the paper I'm painting on here is Arches 140 pound cold pressed. No, it's not cold pressed. Rough. It's rough. I usually paint on cold pressed, but here I'm painting on rough. So while it's still wet / damp, I'll go in and get a little bit more of this cyan color, and hopefully things will move. And let's see here. Just want to make sure that I don't get any kind of weird hard lines, so we can move closer in to that. So I have a very light touch here. Hopefully I adjusted the moisture on my brush to what I have on the paper here. That's my hope. Because I don't really want any blooms or any runbacks. That's not my plan for this. Sometimes, you know, we have to go with plan B if things don't work out. But I'm very much hoping that it'll work out here. I like what I have going on here. Rinse my brush really well while I watch like a hawk to see what's going on. And you know, it's gonna move. It's gonna move on us. Look at that. That's like almost like a bullseye. Okay, don't want to fiddle with it anymore. Now I'm just going to gently rock it back and forth and make sure I soak up any extra moisture here on the edges and clean tissue. And then I'm also going to just wipe down my tape. Hopefully nothing went under, but if it did, we'll work with that. That's not going to be super critical. There. And then just hold it a little bit like this. And then hold it a little bit like that. Hold it a little bit like that. And then run it back in here. So we want to get these edges really nice and soft. But I mean, from what I see right now, and you know it's going to dry quite a bit lighter, but what I have right now, it's what I was going for. So I'm very happy with that. And so we just, and whatever blue colors you have, it doesn't matter. And you don't need to have 1, 2, 3, 4 colors. And you could also, I could also have thrown in some red or some pink or some permanent magenta if I'd wanted that, but I want it kind of cold. Doesn't that look a little cold? I like it, and so that's the focal area. And so third, perfect. We have to let it dry. So once it's dry, and actually what I think I can do already now is I think I'm gonna take this off, and look at that, not any bleeds. Love it. That's gonna be the water, and we're gonna bring it in from the sides. We're gonna do dry brushing, so I think I'm very excited to see what it's like painting dry brushing on rough paper instead of on cold press paper, which is what I usually use. But I thought I'd try and mix it up a little bit and try something new, and I wanted to paint a really fun, quick painting with you. It's a perfect little, you know, weekend or, you know, whatever afternoon project or morning project or evening project, whenever you like to paint. It's gonna be perfect. All right, so we'll reconvene once I have my painting dry so I can show you the next 2 steps. And there, yeah, so we're gonna paint the mountains and we're gonna paint the water, and then we're gonna paint in the silhouettes of the birds. And hopefully I can still see that one there, where it's a little bit darker. I traced them really dark, and I do have the tracings for you that you can download. I'm gonna have a link down below where it says show more, and you can go to my website and get it there. And you can also go to my Eva Nichols Art Academy, because I'm gonna upload this class there too. So if you prefer, you could go on there and sign up to watch it for free there, and then you don't get any of the ads, which can be annoying. So that's an option that you'll have. Might not be available right away. Probably I'll need a day or 2 to get it uploaded to my own platform, but the link will be below, so you can find out where you can find it. So everything is bone dry, so I'm quite happy with how it turned out. Got a little bit of a line there, but it's okay, I think. And well, it is what it is, right? So now I want to go in and I'm going to take some of my indigo, and I'm just going to put my painting on the side, and then I'm going to go in and put those mountains in. And doesn't have to be super solid. I would like if we can get some of that color that's underneath to show through. It's still going to look darker because, you know, it's the second glaze. This is called glazing. There. And then let's go in here. Just want to make sure I don't get any runbacks in here if I can help it. There. And get this line. I could have actually thought about putting on the masking tape so that I had that edge I wouldn't have to worry about, but it's a good practice in having a steady hand. Put a little bit more water in. And here we go, here we go, here we go. So you can see this is simple. You just have to concentrate a little bit, so that's why I'm not talking so much, because I'm trying very, 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 very much to be on the ball here and not mess up. I was filming another segment of my beginner class that I'm working on for Eva Nichols Art Academy, and it was just, you know, color guide and stuff like that. And right at the last 2 colors I messed up, so I had to do the whole darn thing over again. So, you know, I'm trying very hard to stay focused, so, you know, don't have to do things twice. Don't really enjoy that much, but it's just, you know, I always have to say to myself, you know, you're not perfect. And I prove it to myself many, many times. I'm not perfect. So always just saw a little something, something down there. I like that. What do you think? Doesn't that look pretty good? Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is, and we can do it right away, we have, I think we want a little bit more of our cyan here, and we'll put a little bit of water on that one too. Yeah, I do think we need some more cyan. I like to have a little bit more of that one. There we go. And do we need more of the, maybe we should take a little bit more of the cobalt blue just to get it started. Okay, so what we are going to do here is, I can take some of this blue water, that's fine. We are going to just put some water on with a very light touch so that it skips the very light touch, and I'm just going to take it from one end. So we're going to start here. So I want a little bit of water on the bumps, but I don't want it completely soaked, and I'm trying very hard to do it with horizontal lines. All right, so let's start. So that's a little bit of my cobalt blue, so that's always a good easy beginning. And it's very important that it's horizontal. Okay, so let's take a little bit of this here, our cobalt teal. Maybe we should also have a little bit more of that one, just so it doesn't get swallowed up. There we go. And I'm gonna pull it down a little bit more here. So I'm using my 1/2" dagger brush for this. And now I'm gonna go in and do some of that from the other side here. And actually what I'm gonna do while I can is gonna pick up a little bit like that. And let's go in here, get some of that dry brushing effect. Okay, so now I'm dipping my brush into the cyan, and I'll continue on this side for now. And then I'm gonna go in here. That. And now we're going to go in and get some of that indigo in. I want to be dark, especially on this side, because you know it reflects the sky really dark here. There we go. And then we're going to get some in here, and there we'll not go quite as far in. And now I'm doing it like on the side of the brush like this. I want to get rid of some of those white sparkles right there. Let's go back here and get some of that cyan in also. See how dirty I get. I always get so dirty when I do these things. I get paint all over myself. So now I'm just very gently trying to pull that dark across here at the bottom. Just go up a little bit. Sparkles to go away, and a little bit darker down here. And I want to get a little bit. I think pretty happy with what I got going on here. Let's see, yeah, I like that a lot. I think we need to have a couple of these dark ones just go in here. And down here. There. I think we're good. Pull out a couple. Just gonna get rid of some of the white sparkle down here on the edges. It's gonna get covered up by the mat anyway, but just think we're good. And I'm gonna pull out just maybe a couple. Maybe a couple of little lighter areas here, and we can always go in with a little bit of a white pen if we need to adjust the sparkle. Totally All right, I like that. And I like how it's, how the mountain and the dark lake kind of blends together out here on the edges. So it kind of pushes you in here. So now comes precision work. And that means that we have to be concentrated. So I'm going to grab 2 of my small brushes, a number 3 and a number 03. I hardly ever paint with these tiny little brushes. But today, to get those little birdies in, yeah, we're going to go small. So I'm just going to use indigo, and I put a little tiny bit of permanent magenta in to just make it even darker. And let's go in here and see what we can come up with. So this takes a little bit of a steady hand, but just concentrate. You can do it. It's just a tiny little area, and I usually find it easiest if I kind of go on the outline and then more or less fill it in. And we want these birds dark because they're silhouetted against the sky. Little. Be careful not put your hand in there. I think I might chicken out and just do it with a little tiny one, the head here. And you got to be very careful with these droplets that's on the handle, because they can really mess one up. I'm speaking from experience on that. And you can use a bird book to find, or you can also just Google, find silhouettes of birds. I wanted these to read like geese, Canada geese, and I think they do. And that's exactly what I did. I have tons of bird books, so I'm a bird watcher. So that was one. Now I have this little one brush going. So we have the head and the neck and then the little body there. One wing, a little bit of the tail showing there, and then we can see a little bit of the wing on the other side, and it comes there. I think that's good enough. Get that tail a little bit more pizzazz. Yeah. And let's see, we have this one here has a wing. This is when it, on a downstroke, this one. So it's like a triangle back here and the wing. And there comes the neck. And then there's a little bit of the other wing you can see on the other side. And I'm going to go back to my little tiny itsy witsy brush and see if we can get that little head and neck. There, I think that's pretty good. And one more to go. I was afraid we wouldn't be able to see this one, but I can see it well enough. So here we go. It's the bottom of the birdie, and then the wing is coming up like this. And there we have it. That. And then we have the little head and neck. Let's do that with a tiny brush. Look at my hands. That's pretty good, I think. I think I want to give it a little bit more tummy. Yeah. That's it. So the only other thing we might want to do, let me take a look at it. I mean, we don't really need to do anything, to be honest with you. I don't think so. But in case you feel we need it, we can go in with our white gel pen and just bring in some more sparkles if we feel we got a little carried away with them. I don't really feel that I did, but just want to show you that that's totally, so don't freak out if, you lost some of your sparkles that you didn't want to lose. And this signal, here it is, Uniball signal, and then it has a number UM153, but white gel pen, and you'll see it in the supplies underneath. If you go underneath the video here and then over, it's usually on the left side, it says show more, and there's a little arrow down, or a little, down, and then you just click that, and then you'll see my list of supplies, and that's also where you can sign up for my newsletter if you're not already signed up for that. And if you get my newsletter, then you'll also get the special coupons or discounts when I'm launching classes. I usually give my mailing list a special discount for a short period of time as a thank you for being on my mailing list, and in general just keeps you up to date with what I'm doing, and I only send out my newsletter maybe a couple of times a month. It all depends if I have anything new to report, so to speak. But anyway, I hope you had fun, and remember, you can always tag me on social media. I'm on Facebook and Instagram, and if you do hashtag watercolor with Eva, then I'll see it. Have fun and let me know how it goes. And I also wanted to say to you, if you have any particular topic that you would like me to do a demo of, I'd love to do that. Sometimes, it's hard to come up with ideas. So I'm always open. So happy painting. See you soon.